Guys, thank you for joining today. I'm the Dollar Sportsman. I'm happy to bring you a fun comparison today of two very awesome binoculars, and you can decide if the pricier one is worth it or not. But hint, it's also a rangefinder. Let's get to it. A very special thank you to Zan Slugs for sponsoring this channel, but these aren't slugs, these are pellets. 30 cal pellets. They work exceptionally well in my Gauntlet G30, which I'm going to be using today. If you need pellets that are really exceptional, check them out. These are excellent. I really like them, and I really like their slugs. I use their slugs in competition and hunting all the time because they totally rock. So Zan, thank you very much. So y'all, I appreciate you joining me today. We have got a fun video. We have got the Athlon Midas. This is the G2 12x50. This is a budget-friendly binocular that I have been using for the last 2 years, and it has been really good. I've taken it to several competitions. I've taken it out hunting. It's a good bino. So, however, today we're stepping a little bit out of our Dollar Sportsman zone and going to the Athlon Cronus. The Athlon Cronus Rangefinding binos. These are pretty friggin' sweet. I'm gonna show you some footage of some testing and doing some comparisons. Now, MSRP on this one is 1700-ish. That's a lot. MSRP on this one is far less. I don't remember. I'll put it in the screen right here so you can see. Now that's a big difference in these two. So the question is it worth buying something that is this expensive just for the range finding capabilities? Well, I don't know, let's see. First and foremost, I usually, for several years now, I have used an inexpensive little rangefinder that's actually not made anymore by Leopold. 210 bucks is what it was. This is the i1300. And it does just fine. It's a 6x magnification, and it works very well. Gets me good ranges for the most part, right? Works just fine. However, when you're in elk season, the whole reason why it's nice to have a range-finding binocular is the fact that you don't have to do multiple different things in order to find your elk, range it, and take your shot. So if you find it, first you're glassing, right? Or any animal for that matter. You glass, you find it, then you gotta range it. So you pick up your rangefinder, you range it. It doesn't have the same magnification, so you get it, and then you gotta search again through your binos to make sure that it hasn't moved at all. Then you get onto your scope, and then you take your shot, right? Well, this cuts a step out entirely, because while you're glassing, you can also be ranging. That's really important if you're gonna take your shot quick before something moves behind a tree or what have you. So that's why I reached out to Athlon. They sent me this to do a review on and to test out during hunting season to see just how good it does. So this is our initial test to see what we can do with it. Now the glass, I will say, is very clear on this, and I'm going to show you some footage of that in just a second. The glass is also very good on this one though. You still have really good glass here, and it's a 12 magnification. This does not come in 12 magnification, it's only 10. Little more magnification that does help with really digging out a deer in a brush, you know, way off at distance. You could go to 15, but that's getting a little too big to be carrying around. In my opinion, 12 seems to work really well for me. Now 10, granted, it's a little less, so you have a little bit of a disadvantage there. However, the glass is extremely, extremely good. Really clear glass. I have actually been quite impressed. I took this to R&R Tactical the other day. My good buddies down the road who sell Athlon products, and I wanted their opinion on it because they didn't have one in store, so I brought this one. And I said, hey guys, what do you think of this? And we took it outside and we looked through it. You can see some shorts on their YouTube channel, R&R Tactical, where we were looking through that, and we were all very impressed with the glass. Glass, definite upgrade. This is still really good. Don't get me wrong, it's very good glass. However, this is a clear upgrade. And this is also glass made in Japan, not China, so it's exceptionally good. Japanese glass is the way to go if you're looking for a higher end glassing for binoculars or scope or what have you. Now the second point is the focus. And this is where these two start to really differentiate. The focus on a budget-friendly binocular is decent, but you do need to toy around with it more in order to get on focus and stay on focus. And I noticed that in our testing. Now, with this one, on the other hand, the focus range is massive. The focus wheel, I can keep going forever and still have plenty of distance. I'm not maxing out on the focus wheel at all. And it focuses very sharp and isn't super finicky. So I can move that wheel and it doesn't immediately come out of focus, whereas that does tend to happen more with the budget-friendly binos. So the focus is exceptionally good. That is a definite win. Now, how does it do in range finding? Well, let's show you a comparison here. I've got the Leupold rangefinder. And I'm just filming through my phone because I don't have any sort of mount for it. But you can see that the range finding on the Leupold is good. It's clear, you can see it clearly because it uses a black background instead of a bright background. And when it's bright out here, that's actually a major advantage. Now at night, not so much. If you're at dusk and you're trying to range, you're trying to see what your range is, then that's going to be a severe disadvantage compared to bino or a rangefinder that actually has illumination. Now, the Cronus does have illumination. Out here, it's the middle of the day, it's very bright, it actually has a disadvantage. You can see in the video that I can try to adjust the brightness levels, but at max brightness, it's still a little bit difficult to see. Now, another important aspect is that range is only broadcast through one of the monoculars, you could say. Right, on the right side, not the left side. It's not going to be necessarily as clear, but at the same time, the Leupold is also a monocular, so maybe that's not a good comparison. Now, there are different settings. I put this on as bright as possible. I put it on different settings to see between automatic hunting and golf, which what that means for a rangefinder, a golf mode in a rangefinder, it's going to look for the closest object if there are several objects within its range. Now, a hunting mode is going to look for the furthest object, so you don't get trees and other stuff in the way when you're trying to look at your elk. I tried that, and you can see that the ranges on both of these are actually pretty good. I did struggle a bit with the Leupold, admittedly, to get a solid range, and I actually trust the bino range more because it didn't have such a drastic change. And it did quite well. So, of course, the 64-yard target, both were about the same, but the small steel target at distance was worse. And the Cronus definitely excelled there. Now granted, $1,700 MSRP compared to like, what, $250, $210? It should excel. So the glass, the range finding, and the focus are all exceptionally good in this. My initial review is that, yeah, it's really nice to have on you. It saves that extra step. It's going to be really good. Now from a budget perspective though, I don't see the need, if you are on a budget, to go to a really high-end range-finding binocular just for the sake of budget, because it's going to be more task timely, but you can still do it with a budget-friendly model. The Midas is great. They also make rangefinders. I don't have their individual rangefinder. I just have my old Leupold that I've had for years, because they already sent me this. And these two work just fine. They really do. You are at a disadvantage though. 6x magnification for the rangefinder, and that's pretty standard for rangefinders, I would say. The focus isn't quite as good at this, but it's still very good. It's good glass. When you're just at the range, it doesn't really make much sense. You've got all the time in the world to get your target. Now, where that changes is when you are on a hunt and when you're at a competition, specifically NRL Hunter competitions. When you're at an NRL Hunter competition, you only have so much time to find your target, range your target, and then get on your scope and take your shot. Now that, on the other hand, if you're going to be in that sort of competition, or if you're on expensive guided hunts, or an expensive hunt because all the crap that we have for hunting is expensive, it's just true, then yes, I begin to see the advantage of a $1,200 bino that has a range finding capability and the super crystal clear glass, because time is money in those. Time is money. You can really lose out on your points and on your scoring when it comes to competition, or when it comes to hunting for that matter, if you can't move fast. and be able to see clearly your target, get on it, and take your shot. So now, this becomes far more understandable if you're gonna go out and do that sort of thing. Now me specifically, I'm attempting to do some elk hunts if I can make it. Predator hunting, and predators move fast when you're on the hunt. You've got to get that range quick, you've got to understand what's happening, and then you've got to take your shot. That's where I can see that this is actually worth buying for the money. So, are you a comfortable range shooter like this, where you're just out to have some fun, doing some fun stuff, you know, no real hurry? Then yeah, stick to your budget-friendly options. I think all in all, this is $300-400 and you're ready to go. If you're out hunting, if you're out competing and you're really working to win, you're getting that 6-point elk, you're getting that 200-inch buck, you're winning your NRL competition, right? Then yes, you should really consider picking one of these up, because it's going to save you time, it's going to be clear, you're going to be on your target accurate and quick. So there you go. I did want to point out real quick, I do have a Tacticam planted on the back of this. I really like the Tacticam Spotter LR. It is by far one of the best pieces of kit that you can get for filming if you're going to film through anything other than your scope. Now Tacticam can film through a scope as well, but when it comes to, you know, getting that solid look and you're not shaking around through your scope, then a Tacticam is really an excellent camera system. I highly recommend it. I've had affiliate links for years for this particular piece of kit because it's highly worth it. Now I will point out one other thing. If you are going to do that, however, you've got to have a solid way of mounting your binos. Now the Midas has a standard little hex screw mount, universal mount I have right here, and it works quite well. Now the Cronus does not. The battery compartment is on the front, and so there's no way to mount right there. I'm sure they make a way or a system of mounting this, but I haven't seen it personally. I haven't looked it up. If I've found one, I'll post it here and show you what it is. But otherwise, it doesn't have that mounting, and that's a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to glassing. In fact, that's a major disadvantage unless you're using something like a bag. In which case, a solid bag on a tripod, I stuck this on and it works just fine. It's just as solid. So there's that. I hope this helps you in making your choices. I really appreciate the fact that you guys watch this. YouTube does shadow ban all of our shooting content as a sport, which is really unfortunate. So if you can share this with your hunting buddies who are going out elk hunting or deer hunting or whatever hunting, predator hunting, varmint hunting, whatever you're doing, share it with them so they can make a good choice on glass. Now, full disclosure, Athlon has sent me these binos to use and to review and to highlight, and I'm very appreciative of that. The reason why I work with Athlon, honestly, is because they make really good stuff and very budget-friendly content. Now, granted, the Cronus is a higher-end piece of kit, and they do have higher end things, but their glass is exceptionally good and not overly expensive, honestly. I don't work with companies I don't like, I don't work with products that I don't like, and I really do like these. So I'm the Dollar Sportsman. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, guys.